Now we're gonna talk about domain name and web hosting. Even if you have never hosted a website before, you have undoubtedly used domain names. Every time you use a web browser to visit a website by name, such as achouhosting.com, you are using domain names. Domain names are organized hierarchically from right to left. The rightmost portion of a domain name is called the top level domain, TLD. The .com TLD is probably the most well known, but there are many others such as .net, .org, .edu, and .mil. Country codes such as .us and .fr are also TLDs. When you register a domain name, you can choose which TLD to use, though some TLDs such as .edu and .gov are restricted to certain types of organization. Web hosting is a service offered by different hosting companies. This is actually the place where companies and individuals can place their websites. Web hosting is a company that provides space on their hosting servers, supercomputers, which have a high-speed internet connection so that other computers from the world can access the files from your website. The first thing we're gonna start with is domain name. What is a domain name? Domain name, often referred to as web address, is the address that people type into a browser address bar to find your website. A registered domain name is unique to you and can't be used by anyone else, as it functions on the internet in a similar way like street address in the physical world. Why do you need a domain name? Any business, organization, or individual striving to establish online presence should own a domain name. A combination of a domain name, website, and email addresses forms your unique identity online. That, in turn, helps your business create a professional look, increase brand awareness, build credibility, and protect your trademarks and copyrights. What is the difference between a domain and a subdomain? Domain, example, overload.com, is the web address you buy from a domain registry. Subdomain, example, blog.overload.com, is a subset of a domain that can be created by a domain owner. Domain name types. Top-level domain, TLD, refers to the suffix of the last part of a domain name. There is a limited list of predefined suffixes which include .com means commercial business, .org organizations, .gov means government agencies, .edu means educational institutions, .net means network organizations. TLDs are classified into broad categories: generic top-level domains, GTLDs, and country code top-level domains, CCTLDs. GTLDs is a generic top-level domain name that identifies the domain class which is associated with .com, .org, .edu, etc. CCTLD is a two-letter domain extension such as .uk, .fr, assigned to a country, geographic location, or territory. NTLDs refers to new top domain names that are geared towards brands, organizations, and services, as they're most customized, flexible, and relevant. Examples of NTLDs include .voyage, .app, .ninja, .co, etc. How to choose a domain name. Choose a domain name that's easy to type and pronounce. If people struggle to spell it or pronounce it correctly, it will affect their memorability of the name and hurt your brand. Pick a domain name that can be turned into brand. Don't want exact and partial keyword match domain names because they're too generic and very difficult to brand. You should also steer clear from numbers and hyphens in your domain name. They're too difficult to remember and pronounce. Keep it short and simple. Long, complex domain names run a huge risk of being mistyped and misspelled. That's just an unnecessary headache. Avoid names that can be confused with exciting brands. If you think you can piggyback on some other brand's success, you're hugely mistaken. Brand confusion will be the least of your concerns where you get sued. Use an appropriate extension. With the new TLDs rocking the internet, you'd think everyone's going for something as eye-catching as dog boutique. Yet the prevailing advice among marketers is to stick to the old good .com merely because it's the most recognized suffix outside the tech world. If you're targeting a local market, then CCTLDs is probably a better choice for your business. Choose a name that indicates what your business does. You must be careful not to get too literal by a clever domain name that suggests to consumers what they can expect to find where they land on your site is a great advantage to any business. Where can you buy a domain name? You will need to pay an annual fee to register a domain name when the registration period expires. You will be given the option to renew. If you don't, the domain name will be made available to others. There are quite a few domain name registrations out there, but GoDaddy.com and Namecheap are probably among the best popular ones. To create a WordPress site, first thing we do is type the URL wordpress.com, then we connect ourselves, and we have to choose our domain name. I'm gonna choose tutorial WordPress. We choose free. Then our website. Here we have our website created. Thanks for watching. Hope you understood the domain name and web hosting. I'll let you with the following part, which is dashboard.